Hello, Excellence family. It's Danny Barnes, Director of Agent Relations, and I'm here with Paul Sardone, real estate attorney with Excellence Title. Thanks for joining us for Title Tuesday. Today, we're going to talk about some things in the contract with the financing contingency and things to watch out for. How you doing, Paul?
Good. How you doing, Danny?
Good. I'll turn it over to you at this time. Thanks for joining us.
All right. Well, thank you guys for having me again. I want to go over the financing contingency. We've touched on it briefly in other segments talking about the contract, but one thing that I'm seeing now is the contract. Remember that when the revision happened again, they changed the days for financing. If you leave it blank, from 45 back to 30. It was 30. Then when the CFPB started, the default was 45. Now it's back to 30. We've kind of gotten in the habit of doing the 30 days for financing, but given right now's market, it's tough to get those loan commitments within the 30 days. So I am seeing a big uptick of people calling me, realtors for buyers. People are in trouble because they didn't realize it in 30 days passed. They didn't get their loan commitment. So it's important for you guys as Excellence agents to speak to, hopefully you're working with Excellence Mortgage, but whoever your loan officer, especially if your buyer maybe is working with their bank, a Bank of America, a Citibank, a bigger bank, to make sure that they're going to meet those deadlines. And if they're not, to ask for an extension to the financing revision with sufficient time, not at 4:30 the day of that expires when a seller asks you for a commitment. So The reason why I bring this up is, I like to give real world examples of something I have going on right now. So an old family friend is selling a townhouse that he has in Miami. He sold it himself, no realtor. So when that happens, I prefer working with realtors. So I become the default for everything, so I'm the attorney, I give the advice, I'm the therapist, I'm everything on the deal. So this particular buyer had a 10-day inspection period, a 30-day financing contingency. They 16, 17, I would say, of the contract, they call him. There's a realtor on the other side. The realtor calls him that they need to do inspection. And he's like, okay, well, what is the inspection for? Like, no, for the insurance. So he calls me, I tell him, yeah, that's probably the 4-point inspection for the insurance, no big deal. They do the inspection, long story short, it turns out it's the home inspection. The realtor just blew past the dates. The inspector starts getting into it with my client, saying, oh, well, this and this, and you're gonna have to fix this. And so he called him, you don't have to fix anything. So the agent, who at this point was pretty negligent in not doing this inspection during their period, then tells him, well, we still have 30 days for financing, so I'm just gonna cancel and say he couldn't get the financing. So that's not something I recommend, because when she then emails me the following week, I know what's going on. I don't say anything, and she sends me an email like, hey, they weren't able to obtain the loan with Regions. My response is, all right, no problem. Send me the denial letter from Regions, send me the loan officer's information, and send me proof that your clients used diligent effort, which is the standard that the as-is contract provides, to obtain the loan, and that they applied within the 3 days that the contract provides. So I hear crickets back. A few days later, hey, they want to move forward with the purchase. Can we get an extension? This yesterday, which was the deadline for financing. Can we get an extension for 2 weeks? So my response was, which should be, as an agent, in this case, I'm the attorney, but if you're a listing agent, you have a right to speak to the buyer's lender. It's in the contract for status. Obviously, they can't tell you how much money the buyer makes. They can't tell you where they work or the 401k. But they could tell you, yeah, the loan's in underwriting. Yeah, we need to get the appraisal, or we're waiting on conditions, or we're waiting on something from the borrower. So in this case, I took advantage of the opportunity. I spoke to the person at Regions, who pretty much told me what I suspected, that they had started kind of pressuring them and running with it last week, probably after my email, because they hadn't done anything. They were under contract for 2 weeks. They didn't do inspections. They didn't apply for the loan. They didn't do anything. That person has a $20,000 deposit.
Wow.
So I could have a very, very strong case and go after that $20,000 deposit on behalf of my client. Lucky for them, my client's not that kind of guy. He said, look, if they close in the 2 weeks, let's give them the extension, see what happens. But as a condition for it, we're saying if you don't have it within the 2 weeks, the deal's off. There's no more extensions. So,
Right.
they lost their right to any repairs. So those are things, just to give an example, why that financing contingency is important and why it's important when you're representing a buyer. Make sure that they are applying for the loan and they're providing information, because if they don't do anything and the week before the contingency is about to hit, then they send everything into their loan officer, and you have a smart attorney or realtor on the other side, and they can prove that they didn't use diligent effort, they could still lose their deposit, even if they cancel on time.
Yeah.
So.
Amazing information today. I think one of the most important things you said is a lot of agents that we work with think that it's okay. Hey, they just can't get financed. We're going to cancel. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
And that's a brilliant point you brought up. Hey, there's points you have to make in order to cancel the contract, namely that the lender denies the buyer for the loan.
Yeah.
So good stuff, Paul.
All right. Well, I hope that helps. Hopefully that keeps at least, if we could save the agent from one bad situation and keep them on top of it, then we've done our job. But if you do find yourself in that kind of situation or working with a borrower who's not cooperating with the lender or anything like that, that's we can have a little talk with the buyer and explain the legal ramifications.
Yeah. And plus the things that you said are good for a buyer's agent, because they need to get on the ball as soon as that house is under contract or property.
To make
Get
sure
the
that
loan ready, apply for the loan. And
right.
All right. Well, thanks again. And also, it's very simple to go ahead and apply for a title order with Excellence Title at excellencetitle.com, upper right-hand corner.
Yep.
Just click on the box. And thanks again, Paul.
All right.
If I don't hear from you, I'll see you in about 2 weeks.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.